Good evening. Welcome to today's class on the new path. Last week we had done half of the chapter, The Wave and the Ocean. Today we will try to complete that chapter. But as always, before we start, let's start with invoking the presence of God and Gurus here with us. Closing our eyes, gazing up at the point between the eyebrows, calling out to God and Gurus. Let's pray together. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, friend, beloved God, great masters of self realization, Jesus Christ, Bhagwan Krishna, Mahavatar Babaji, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Gurudev, Paramhansa Yogananda ji, saints and sages of all religions, dear friend and guide, Swami Kriyananda, humbly we bow at thy feet. Dear Master, be with us here today. Guide our thoughts, our words, our understanding. Help us to tune into thy divine consciousness and live this life following the principles, universal principles to higher living. May we find God with thy guidance in this lifetime itself. We are thine, be thou eternally ours. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. One chant. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nothing at all can hold me. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Let's pause here for a few moments. Tuning into this chant, it's a beautiful chant composed by Swami Kriyananda. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. In absolute freedom. Nothing in this world of duality can hold us. There is no fear of losing anything. Because we have the ultimate with us, the infinite, the Lord Himself. In freedom, we are free. Nothing to bind us, nothing to hold us back. Now with that, let us continue our discussion on the chapter, The Wave and the Ocean. We have heard half of Swamiji reading it, but we didn't finish discussing that part. So we'll finish that and then continue with the further part of the chapter to be read. So till now, what we discussed, what we saw is like master, like Swamiji is talking about master, how he, what does it make to become a master, right? So these were the things that he was pointing out about master. So if we want to find God, then what is it that we need to do? And in that, he's giving the various stories of that shortbread, where master asked somebody to the person to stop the car to go into the bakery and bring the shortbread, and the lady came out and said, it's not there. And master sweetly told divine mother, how is that possible? Like, in that, what Swamiji was saying is, even for something as trivial as shortbread, he wouldn't do it if there was no divine intervention or instruction to stop the car and go for the shortbread. So he was like confused, like, you told me to stop, how come it's not there? And at that moment, Swamiji says that there a light flashed on that bakery, and the lady came running out saying, I had kept it for somebody else, but I'll bake another thing for them, you take it. So that kind of, that is a practice that we all have to do at all times. It's not like only when I'm meditating or I have some major issues, then I take help of the guru or God or the divine, but a constant conversation going with the divine mother, even for very trivial, very mundane conversation going, having that beautiful relationship with the divine mother, that's so sweet, right? Master always used to say that the father element is like, strict, principles, the law, and the mother, we are closer to our mothers, right? Even in our families, we are closer to our mother. So he said, develop that relationship with the divine mother aspect of God. So, and then also the master was always, he lived with a kind of detachment. Not that that doesn't mean there was no interest in anything, but, not getting too attached to anything. That is important. Like he had this, we saw the story of that Esraj, where he gave it away because somebody wanted it. And also in autobiography, he had mentioned about his motorcycle that he gave away because somebody liked it. And if, he practiced the yama to the maximum, like the perfection of yama, where he's not even attached to his own things, the one that he possessed. There was no sense of possession. So as long as he had it, he enjoyed it. But if it's not there, it's fine, right? And if somebody wants it more than I do, he gave it away. So these were the things that we need to emulate, right? So that all these stories are to tell us, instruct us, what does it take to become a master. And even when, Swamiji is talking about when they were planning to go to India, Swamiji was very eager to come to India. Master, whenever he used to say, Master said, I mean, it's, if Divine Mother wants me to go, though he loved India, right? Yet, if Divine Mother wants me to go, I'll go. It was the ultimate this thing, the sense of detachment, even in something that he so loved and everything, but there's still that detached feeling, only doing what the divine tells to do. And that is why when we tune our consciousness to the guru, because guru is so in tune, the guru, the self-realized masters are so in tune with the divine that if we attune our consciousness with the guru's consciousness, automatically we are tuning directly to the divine because they're pure channels of God, right? That is where our and then Master Swamiji was talking about when after inaugurating the lake shrine, Master would often have concerts where he would invite a lot of people, and which he considered as a service. Even that, it wasn't like, oh, I have created a beautiful place and I'm having this concert. It was again a service for people so that they can come into those grounds, experience that uplifted energy, uplifted consciousness, and may get interested to find God or in spirituality or some form to uplift themselves. So so he was trying his best to reach out to as many people as he can. I mean, ultimately, it's their karma that will bring them there or hold them on there. But still, he was doing his part, right? And Master said that, many people would come. They came in droves, they came. But then he said they left. Many came. Master said at times, Mount Washington was like a hotel. People checked in and checked out. Even when he was in body, this was happening, right? So he said, outsiders come and see only the surface, not understanding what this place has to offer them. They go away again. Those who are our own, however, see beneath the surface, they never leave. So this is very important. Um, so those who are our own, it means that we didn't come to this path. For us who are in this path, uh, it is not by chance that we saw some advertisement or some friend told me about this place. There are a lot of you ask anyone, everyone has their own story how they came to this path. But we are here uh, karmically and spiritually we are linked to this path, which means if we are here, we have been here with Master before also. It's not the first time that we came here, right? But again, karma can again take us off. So it's very important to keep aligning ourselves to make all those efforts that will make us stay the path. Master always said, as Jesus Christ said, the last will be the first. And Swamiji explained that what this really meant was the last will be the first means the ones who last, not the ones who came towards the end. What Master was trying to say is the ones who last. So our good karma brought us back, but to stay the path till the end, not allowing anything to allow us to sway, that is very important, right? So he's saying, Swamiji is saying he was referring, I knew, not only to the casual public, but also to his disciples, not all of whom were discerning enough to recognize the priceless gifts he had to bestow on them. That's what many people come, they seem so interested and they come for these classes, they stay on and take Kriya and then vanish. The karma takes them away. It's so sad. I mean, these are priceless gifts. So somewhere the karma managed to, pull them out. And that is why it's very important to be very conscious, to be very alert, to be very aware, and make sure we do all those things that Master said is needed so that we stay the path, right? Attunement to the Guru. That's a key word to tread this spiritual journey. And he's talking about here also he's telling the story of how one of the plumbers who was facing some plumbing issues, um, and he says that he tried everything and he couldn't sort it, and he says finally he hit on a spiritual solution. At least he hoped it would be a solution. And recalling a passage in Autobiography of a Yogi which says whenever anyone utters with reverence the name of Babaji, that devotee attracts an instant spiritual blessing. And so he meditated. Chuck sat down and meditated and called mentally to that great master. Suddenly, to his awe and amazement, Babaji appeared before him in vision, blessed him, and offered him priceless spiritual counsel. And later, when he returned to outward consciousness, he found the pump functioning smoothly and the water flowing again. He says logically that pump just couldn't work. It hadn't even been primed. Master says, I asked Babaji to give Chuck that experience. So any experience that we receive in our meditation or anything, any spiritual guidance, remember all of it is coming from the Guru. He's allowing it. Even our meditation, if you remember the Samadhi poem, Master says, by deeper, longer, thirsty, Guru given meditation. Our part is to make sure we sit down and meditate, right? We sit down. That's our part, our effort, and do all those techniques that our Guru has given. But how deep it will be, if any experience that I need to get, any visions that I need to get, any answer that I need to get, Guru gives us. The final liberation the Guru gives us is as simple as that. We just have to tune ourselves into his consciousness. That is most important. So Master says, I asked Babaji to give Chuck that experience. And this plumbing thing, Naya Swami Devarshi also said this in Ananda. He was, again, he was a gardener there for a long time. He served as a gardener. And again, there was this, something they had created. I think it was a fountain or something in front of Swamiji's room, and that thing used to make a weird sound, which was quite disturbing, very irritating. And Swamiji, used to sit in that room to write, and he would find that constant sound, and he would kept telling him to sort it out because it was irritating. And they tried everything. Devarshiji tried everything, and he couldn't, find an answer. Again, he sat down and meditated on Babaji. Again, used the same technique. And he said after that, some thought came, and he worked with that, and it worked. Then that sound never came. And he would jokingly say that even for plumbing issue, Babaji helps. But that's a point. What he's trying to say is bring them in every aspect. It's not like, oh, tough issues, then I call him and I have some income tax problems. Master wouldn't know how to sort it. No, he knows everything. I mean, he can do anything, and if needed, he will do it, right? So the point is, we need to develop a relation, and we need to remember this. And this thing again and again, we need to understand, make it our own. Remember this at all times. Whenever anyone utters with reverence the name of Babaji, that devotee attracts an instant spiritual blessing. It's a promise from the masters, right? Master said, whenever you think me near, I will be near. It's a promise. So it's up to us. We need to think him near. Is this really so? I mean, is he really here? That is our mind that is trying to come up with all kinds of the doubts, because that's a role of Maya. Would say, oh, that's not possible. I don't see him here, so how is that possible? I don't see him here because I am not, equipped enough to see him here. My spiritual, like my master, when he used to cook, he would taste from his spiritual eye. We need to practice that. The moment this opens, we can see. If we aren't able to see, it's something that we need to work on. It's not master's. It's not that he is not keeping his side of the promise. So always remember, especially when in doubt, in having any problem, Master's promise, where if you think me near, I will be near. He's always there, right? We need to tune in to him. Okay, and now he's talking about various times when Swamiji, he practiced it, right? The whole point is Swamiji, when he talked about Master having those conversations with Divine Mother, he also practiced. So he says, even I had, when I spoke to Divine Mother about, oh, it would be nice to have the Swiss chocolates, and how it came on his birthday, somebody handed over to him. Similarly, he says, I too have experienced Master's Babaji's blessings, and he goes on to tell the episode where he wanted seclusion and somebody offered him his own house in Kodaikanal, and how it was a beautiful time for him to have. So the whole point is reading this and says, wow, this is so nice. People have had these experiences versus try yourself, practice it and see, does it work? Right? Master says, I will be near. Does it work? Am I doing it enough? Am I practicing it enough? Or am I tuning into Babaji? Right? Especially when I want to have some answers in my spiritual journey, how to go progress, how to meditate more deeper. He helps. That's what Master has written in autobiography. Why don't I try it? Right? So these things are not just for nice story. Yeah, that was wonderful to read. No, it's how we can imbibe it. What is it that I need to do in this? And then Swamiji is talking about where in one of the other monks would try to dominate over him, and he would keep sending him, Don, go give this to Master, and go. Master was also testing him. Swamiji says, I obeyed him eagerly, aware that the real prize in the spiritual life is the opportunity for service, especially to one's soul. Doesn't matter. Somebody is recognizing me. Is this work good enough? I just have to get, prasad, or I'm just sitting and moving chairs in the center. I'm not doing such important things. I mean, that's what we all think, no? Important things like teaching or giving satsangs. Doesn't matter what we are doing, really. What really is important is the attitude with which we are serving, which also means every opportunity to serve helps us. It's all about us, right? When we serve, we are transcending the ego. It's helping us more than anything. And Master again tested him. He says, when Master, to see if I could be drawn into a competitive attitude, because that person was trying to do that with him, right? So Master was testing Swamiji with whether he will also get into a competitive, like, how dare he tell me what to do. He pretended to accept my offerings with a slight sneer of condescension, as though receiving ministrations from one of the obviously inferior leadership ability. And he says it was quite enough for me that I felt Master smile in my heart. That is all that's needed. He knew, Swamiji understood that he was just testing him because he felt Master's smile in his heart. Again, we need to tune in. So it's not what is happening that is important, but what we feel in our heart. This is the answer. This is where the answer lies, right? So that's very important. Again, he's talking about some concert that they had gone, and one of the nuns, one of the women disciples, she said, oh, this is not such a good concert or something. And Masters, that the conductor of that concert was a friend of Master. So he said, with solemn loyalty, he replied to Miss Lanchester, it was a good show. Again, Master always insisted loyalty is the first law of God. So, somebody who is our own, especially, our guru, it's very important that we shouldn't be, passive. Somebody says something against our guru, and we don't want to get into a fight with them, so we just keep quiet. That's not right. We need to be loyal. I mean, when Master's father said something against Swami Sri Yukteswar, Master said, the birth, you being my biological father is something, but the spiritual birth is everything. So one more word against my guru from you, I will disown you. I mean, such strong words. And we are talking early 1900s, where children, I mean, these days it's very different, the relationship between kids and their parents. Those days, and in India, it was a very, the father had this reverential place. The children would never answer back. But he was talking against his guru. Master made it very clear, I wouldn't tolerate this. So we need to understand this. Again, this is, as I said, it's the first law of God. So we need to be standing up for our guru, for our path. We can't just let it be, oh, it's okay if they said, I mean, I don't believe what they're saying, but then, it's okay. That's what they believe. No, it doesn't work that way, right? So, and then there's this sweet story about this mason who was working with the concrete work and all. He was not really a disciple, but he loved Master, right? And how he, left a gift for Master outside his door, but he forgot to write his name. Master knew, right? He came back and then he realized, he came and told them, oh, I forgot to write my name. Now Master will never know it was I who had placed that gift. And at that moment, Master calls and he says, and he asked to speak to Andy, and Andy is, he comes back, he's surprised, he's beaming ear to ear. Master just wanted to thank me for my present. How did he know? Because he knows. He knows everything. Like how he told once Swamiji, don't talk to people about rotten tomatoes. Swamiji had said something to some people, don't carry rotten tomatoes or something. Master wasn't there. But later, once where they were alone, he said, don't talk like that. Swamiji said, you knew? He said, I know every single thing that you think. Every single thing. I mean, we have given him that right? We took discipleship. We took him as our guru. And once we give them that entrance to him, we have given him that permission. He takes active interest in our lives. He's very, very aware, right? And in that, he knows everything. So there's no hiding from the guru. And he likes it that way. So that's what happened. Even Andy, even though he wasn't a disciple, but he loved Master. He had that relationship with him going, and Master knew. Master was taking an active interest in him. And then when he asked him to lay the road in the concrete driveway at Mount Washington, and Master was asking, heavy trucks come, how much this place would need? And that man said 4 inches, concrete. Master said, make it 6 inches. And he says he gave a sweet smile. And just to say, oh, no, not 4 inches, make it 6 inches. I mean, they were wondering, like, why is he giving such a sweet smile? Because Andy was also, he used to enjoy his drinks, and that particular day he had come drunk. And what he did was, he wasn't paying too much attention, and not fully conscious of what he was doing, he sprayed too much water on the new driveway, diluting the mixture. And if it hadn't been for the extra inches that Master had asked for, the 2 extra inches, the cement would have cracked. Swamiji writes, Master, out of loving respect for Andy, wouldn't allow anyone to replace him. And so he knew what was going to happen. He made those adjustments, right? How sweet is that? The sweetness of his smile had been due to his compassion for Andy. So, he accepts all of us with our mistakes, with our faults, tendencies. He has accepted us, right? He never judges us. He is not saying, oh, Andy, why have we kept him? He's a drunkard. He comes drunk to the place. No, he adjusted for that. So that's a sweetness of the Master, right? So then Master went on to have various his legs where became he couldn't walk at some point of time. And here Swamiji says great masters have the power to assume on their own bodies the karma of others, much as a strong man might generously take onto his own body blows that were intended for a weaker person. Masters all often did that. Jesus Christ did that. He went, when they say that, he went on the cross for the sins of others, is basically he did it for his disciples, the ones who, and they do it for their close disciples so that they can, they take their karma on themselves so that they can start progressing. If Jesus had not done that, they were, till Jesus was in body, they were not really, very deep. But once Jesus left is when they all, came to their own element, and then that's when they started spreading the teachings of Jesus, right? That all of them. So that is where the Master takes it on. Ramakrishna Paramahansa did that. He had throat cancer towards the end of his life. He took on even in Autobiography of a Yogi, Swami Sri Yukteswar, when they had gone to Kashmir, Master and Sri Yukteswar and other disciples. Then Master had to come back early because of, he had college, the college had started. Sri Yukteswar stayed back, and then he received telegram. He was very serious. He was almost, about to drop the body and go. And Master sent back a telegram saying, no, don't go. Stay. Please don't leave. But it was that bad. What had he done? He had taken on the karma of the disciples because it's, because they are so not so connected, attached to their bodies. It really doesn't matter to them. All that suffering, they are able to transcend that and keep their consciousness always is so uplifted and divine that it doesn't have that lower consciousness. It even though the body is suffering, they don't experience like Master. Once there's a wishing tree. It's a huge thing that fell on his. I mean, the monks were transporting it somewhere, and it fell on his foot, and it hurt. Master said, "I will show you how it works. So when he was, he was always stay, at his spiritual eye and in a very higher consciousness. He was not feeling it. Then he said, I will bring my consciousness to my toes. And he brought it back down. And he said, it's hurting a lot. Then again, he would shift it up. He didn't feel anything. Again, he would bring it back. He was demonstrating to the monks and through these stories to us how just a shift in the consciousness can change it. If we are very body conscious, we will feel each and every pain in our body, everything that's happening to us, everything that somebody said to me, we will experience and we will be suffering with that. The moment we shift our consciousness, that's why master said that try to live in your spiritual eye all the time. Keep your consciousness there in the spiritual eye, then you're not affected so much with what's happening around us, right? So this master had taken the karma of his disciples, close disciples. So Swamiji writes, it was such a gift that master now bestowed on us. His legs became affected. The result was that for a time he couldn't walk. And he says it was primarily a astral disease. And it's all energetically. He said it's a demonic entities were wreaking havoc on his body, especially on his astral body, though the physical body took some of the punishment also. And master says, I held my mind down to the body during the worst period. He deliberately kept it down on the body because I wanted to experience pain as others do. So different, right? I mean, he had to consciously bring it down to our level so that he can experience what does a normal person feel when he's hurt or something. They have to make that effort to come down and feel it. So that's the amazing thing. And when somebody criticizes Divine Mother, how is she treating you like this? He says, don't you dare criticize Divine Mother. I mean, we are so quick to say, something goes wrong and we say, where is God? What is God doing? He's not even looking at me. He's not helping. Here, he's not even able to walk. The monks are picking him up and bringing him back. And he says, don't you dare criticize Divine Mother. So, and this another beautiful thing, he says, carry my body and I will carry your souls. He'll carry us across. That's such a beautiful promise to each one of us, right? He's carrying our souls across that thing. So we are free. And he's taken a lot of load. And we need to cooperate in this process. And again, when he was not able to walk, he said that he had some convocation and unwilling to publicize his condition, which he viewed as a sacred offering to his disciples for their spiritual growth. What he was going through, he's not sitting and saying, see, I'm doing all this for you. You guys are not appreciating what I'm saying. It was a sacred offering to his disciples for their spiritual growth. So he didn't want others to know that, he's not able to walk. And that day he determined to walk when the time came. So the car came, they took him there, and he somehow, managed to walk. And he says, I was able to walk with ease. And he went up to the lecture podium, he spoke, he came back. And once back in the car, he says, my legs became helpless again. And some time later, somebody said, as he walked, I noticed his feet weren't touching the ground. It's light. There was just that energy that was moving him. Often people would say about Ananda Mohima, when she would walk, it never felt like she was walking on the ground. It was like, she was off the ground. So, and when Swamiji said, one day his condition became okay. And when Swamiji said, you're getting better, sir. Master said, who is getting better? I meant your body, sir. He says, what's the difference? The wave protruding from the ocean's bosom is still a part of the ocean. This is God's body. If he wants to make it well, all right. If he wants to keep it unwell, all right. It is best to remain impartial. If you have health and are attached to it, you will always be afraid of losing it. And if you are attached to good health and become ill, You will always be grieving for the good you have lost. So these are takeaways for us, like, when we pray also, for anybody's health, it's always good to say, this is what I will, but may thy will, that's what how master used to advise. May thy will prevail. If this is the right thing to happen, may it happen. So it's good even when we pray for others, not to keep checking, oh, did he become okay? You know, our part is to pray. Our part is to become the channel, so that, the divine energy, the consciousness, the divine mother's energy flows through that person, to that person, into that situation, and does the thing that is needed, that is right. So, did that person die? Probably that was the right thing for that soul. So we can't, we should, all of us do. So it's very important while praying not to impose our will. So, and again, as after we pray, we keep checking, did he become okay? And then, because what happens if they become okay, then we feel good. Yeah, I prayed and he became okay. That's so wrong. We are not healers. We are just the channels, right? So this is very important to understand. Even when, something is affecting our own body, master is saying, who is affected, right? Who is getting better? Always remember, this is, the body is unwell. I'm resting. Master would always say, I'm resting the body. I don't need rest. I'm soul, right? But the body, this is a vehicle that, and we need to take care of the body. He said, because this is the vehicle that will take us to self-realization. We need to take care. So we need to rest. We need to feed, but not to get too attached. So there's also, he gave a suggestion that when you're taking bath, always say, one day even this is going to become ash. It's good reminders always to not get too attached to anything, not even to this body, right? And he says, when, again, not getting too attached, because then you're afraid you will lose this good health. And when we are ill, we are always talking, I could walk, I could run, I could do this, I could do that. It's okay. Be grateful for all those years that you could walk and run, rather than, lamenting that, now you are not able to do it. And master always said that uh, never ever affirm that you're unwell. He said, even if you have to die, even on the deathbed, don't go with the consciousness that the body is not well, I'm feeble, I'm not well, because we transcend into the other life with that consciousness. So always affirm positivity, right? Master says man's greatest trouble is egoism, the consciousness of individuality. He takes everything that happens to him as affecting him personally. Why be affected? You are not this body. You are he. Everything is he. If only we can remember this, right? He said this to me, she insulted me, they did this to me, they betrayed me. We are all affected. We have to transcend, but we can start practicing this. Don't take everything personally, Master is saying. These are things that, we can write down and keep at various places to keep as a reminder. Because we keep falling back into that. The whole point is to, again, pick ourselves up and remember these things. He says, we are all, conscious of, I'm different and you're different. Why do we take offense? Why do somebody hurt somebody else? Because they think you are different, I'm different. So I feel good if I insult you. Or if somebody insults me, I feel bad. Because how can he do that to me? Me. Why me? Right? So that's when he says it's important to remember that not to take everything very personally. And you're not this body, you are he, everything is spirit. And the more we live with this saying that, whatever is coming to me is God's will or Master's will, it starts happening that way. And the more we take it in that sense, even the good that's happening, like when Swami Kriyananda, he was, very unceremoniously thrown out of SRF. He was feeling very bad. He didn't know. He was 22 when he came on this path, and the next 14 years he served his guru, and he just didn't know what to do with his life anymore. He wrote to Ananda Mohima, who was very close to her. And she wrote back saying, take this also as Guru Kripa. And Swamiji was like, Guru Kripa, I mean, seriously, he couldn't take it at that time. He couldn't understand what is she's, he knew it was coming from her and it must mean something, but at that time he didn't understand it. His capability to understand was not evolved enough to get what she was trying to say, but he kept it on a shelf. And then he went on to, establish Ananda. And many years later, he said, I understood what she meant. When she meant, when I was going through the lowest phase of my life, she said, even that take as Guru Kripa. It's good to remember all these things, right? Okay, so now I think this is where we stopped. So we will hear Swamiji read the rest of the part and then again discuss. We will have time, I hope.
Seeing Master but not wanting to intrude on his discussion with us, she saluted him silently while proceeding toward the door. Master stopped her. What have you in that bag? A few dates, Master, for you. I was going to place them by your door. Thank you very much. I shall be glad to accept them here. Master, taking the fruits, passed them out among us. I had been wanting to give you all something, he explained. As soon as I saw her with that bag, I knew my wish had been fulfilled. Early one rather mild autumn evening, he was seated in his car chatting with a few of us before going out for a drive. He was explaining some philosophical point when, midway through his explanation, he paused and inquired, "Isn't it rather hot today?" We hesitated, knowing that he had it in mind to give us money for ice cream. He looked at us expectantly. At last I said, smiling, "Well, it was hot, sir, but by now it has cooled off." "Too bad," Master laughed playfully. "You've cheated yourselves out of some refreshments." He returned to his discourse. Several more minutes passed, then he paused again. "You're sure it isn't a bit warm this evening?" "Well," we replied, laughing, "it is if you say so, sir." Decisively he concluded, "I can't keep money and I won't. Here, take these dollars for ice cream. I like having money only so that I can give it away." I still have the 3 $1 bills he gave us on another evening for ice cream. I replaced them with other dollar bills of my own and kept the gift he had touched. One evening he spoke briefly of his recent illness. To our expressions of deep sympathy he said unconcernedly, "It was nothing. When the wisdom dinner from the plate of life has been eaten, it no longer matters whether you keep the plate or break it and throw it away." On another occasion he remarked, "I forget myself so much these days that I have to ask others if I have eaten." Man was put here on earth to seek God, he reminded us one evening. That is the only reason for his existence. Friends, job, material interests, all these by themselves mean nothing. "Sir," one of the monks inquired, "is it wrong to ask God for material things?" "It is all right if you need them," Master replied, "but you should always say, 'Give me this or that, provided it is all right with you.' Many of the things people want end up harming them when they get them. Leave it to God to decide what you ought to have." On the subject of prayer, he told us, God answers all prayers, but restless prayers he answers only a little bit. If you tried giving away something that didn't belong to you, your generosity wouldn't mean much, would it? So it is when you try to give your mind to God. You should first own it yourself. Gain control over your thoughts. Give him your full attention when you pray. You will see when you pray in that way that he answers marvelously. Whatever Master's topic of conversation, whether some aspect of the spiritual path or some perfectly ordinary task that he wanted done, if one listened sensitively enough, One always felt a subtle power emanating from him. If one took this awareness within, one felt blessed with a heightened sense of inner joy and freedom. Sometimes in Master's company, and again years later in India in the ashrams of saints, I observed disciples who were so fascinated by their Guru's gestures, words, and facial expressions that they neglected to commune with his magnetizing influence within themselves. Master saw even his own personality quite impersonally, as necessary simply to functioning in this physical world. Before taking a physical body, he once told me, I see the personality I am to assume, and feel slightly uncomfortable with it. It is like having to don a heavy overcoat on a hot day. I soon get used to it, but inwardly I never forget that this personality is not my true self. At the same time, Master never sanctioned an irresponsible denial of mundane realities. You should combine idealism with practicality, he once told me. In down-to-earth matters, he himself was completely practical. He taught us the importance of meeting every reality on its own level. One minute he might be instructing us in some fine point of meditation, and the next telling us how to keep our rooms tidy. Put everything away as soon as you finish with it. When he invited guests to lunch, he often had me serve them. After the meal I would demonstrate the yoga postures, then sit in the room while he conversed. Usually I would write down his remarks. If sometimes I found it difficult to keep up with him, he would notice and speak more slowly. Occasionally, after the guests had departed, he would keep me with him to discuss my work, particularly as it related to the public, or to correct something I might have said in a private conversation at church, or in a lecture. On one such occasion I expressed astonishment at his complete awareness of things I'd said and done, when he was not physically with me. I know every thought you think, he once assured me calmly. Two visitors to Mount Washington who got to meet Master were on separate occasions my mother and my cousin Bet. Mother he received graciously in his upstairs sitting room. Before their meeting I had asked him to give her a special blessing. He'd agreed to do so, in a manner so separated from our present discussion that I wasn't sure whether my request had really registered with him. What was my gratification at the end of his interview with her, when he held her hand outside the door and prayed out loud to God and our line of gurus for the blessing I'd solicited. I've no idea what Mother thought of this unexpected parting, but I touched Master's feet with tears of gratitude, convinced that his blessing could not fail, nor indeed did it. Years later she asked me to teach her meditation. Bet I introduced to Master as he was leaving for a drive one afternoon. From his remarks about her later, it was clear that she had made an excellent impression on him. Would she make a good yogi, Master? Oh, yes. In addition to lecturing in the churches and to organizing the monks, I wrote letters for Master. Sir, I said to him one day, what letters we are getting from Germany. Such sincerity and devotion. Letter after letter pleads for Kriya Yoga initiation. They have been hurt, Master replied with quiet sympathy. That's why. All those wars and troubles. Kriya is what they need, not bombs. How wonderful it would be to send Henry there with his knowledge of German. Well, maybe I will send you there some day. Recalling his intention of sending me to India, I replied, I thought you had other plans for me, sir, but of course I'll go wherever you send me. I'm familiar with Europe, certainly, having grown up there. There is a great work to be done there, he commented. Years later I founded a work in Italy, with subsidiary meditation groups in other countries, including Germany. Is this work a new religion? I asked him one day at his desert retreat. It is a new expression, he corrected me. Truth is one, Sanatana Dharma as it is known in India, the eternal religion. The great religions of the world are branches, all on that one tree. Sectarianism is divisive. The one ocean has become all its waves, Master once told me, when I questioned him about his own role in the religious evolution of this planet. You should look to the ocean, not to the little waves protruding on its bosom.
So, so here, I mean, there's this sweet things that Master would do for the monks when they were there. He would never, I mean, as I said, he was not attached to anything. So what money, I mean, again, not being attached to anything, but when he needed, he got it. Like how, when we saw the starting when he bought Mount Washington, and till the last moment, there was the money, they were falling short, and somehow it manifested, right? And Master said, Divine Mother likes to keep it interesting for me when it finally came. And then there was a space when the organization was almost bankrupt. There was no money. And Masters told Divine Mother, like, I can walk away. I mean, it's not, I mean, I'm not attached to anything. So you tell me I'll walk away. I mean, why do I have to go through all this? And Divine Mother answered saying, am I not your stock and bond? What else do you want? He said, yes, that's right. And then the money came. The disciples came who then, put money to the organization. And even today, I mean, that they are helping. So this is how it is. I mean, so he lived with that thing, that when he had that kind of non-attachment, then the universe, Divine Mother gives whatever is needed. And that is how all of us need to, rather than sitting and worrying, like how the levitating saint Bhaduri Mahashay once said, one who gave birth to all of us, doesn't he know what is needed? The first breath that child takes, the first milk that the child gets, does it that the child know where is it going to come from? He just comes and enters the world, and somebody takes care of him, right? The God provided him, right? But suddenly when we become vague, we start worrying. Where will the next meal come from? Where will that money come from? What will happen to me if 10 years down the line? Will I have a good job? Will I not have a good? Why worry? Who has given us that breath? Who has taken care of us from the first breath? Doesn't he know what is needed? What I need? What I need versus what I want is the problem, The problem is we want versus God will give what I need. There's a difference between the two. So here we see that when he was getting better, he was talking about his illness. He says, when they were saying, they were showing deep sympathy, he said, it was nothing. When the wisdom dinner from the plate of life has been eaten, when somebody, has become wise. Wise how? Through their, they got Nirvikalp Samadhi, they have, evolved. It no longer matters whether you keep the plate or break it and throw it. It really doesn't matter. That is why we saw that, the masters take the karma of their disciples and work it on their own body, because it doesn't matter to them what they are going through. Man was put on the earth to seek God. That is the only goal of a human existence. What should be my ambition? All that mundane things. When somebody asks somebody, what do you want to be? Everybody will have answer. Nobody says, I want to seek God. I want to find God. But Master says that is the only ambition one should have. That is the only goal of a human life, right? That is the only reason for his existence. Friends, job, material interest, all these by themselves mean nothing, he says. So, and then somebody asks, is it wrong to ask God for material things? It's all right, he says. He's not saying, no, you shouldn't ask. He says, all right, if you need them. But always say, give me this or that, provided it is all right with you. Similarly, when we pray for anybody, for self, always say, this is my will, but give it if thy will is, may thy will prevail. So again, he's saying on subject of prayer, he's saying God answers all prayers, but restless prayers He answers only a little bit. What? If you tried giving away something that didn't belong to you, your generosity wouldn't mean much, would it? So it is when you try to give your mind to God, you should first own it yourself. Gain control over your thoughts. Give Him your full attention when you pray. You will see when you pray in that way that He answers marvelously. Again, this is very important. That is why when we pray, it's important you have meditated, you become calm. In that calm state, we need to meditate. Restless prayers, he says, he answers. Because if if we are sitting across with somebody and having a conversation, and that person, we are, my mind is constantly going here, there. The person is sitting in front of me. I'm talking to this person. I'm instructing that person. I'm looking, oh, I have switched off this thing or not. That person will get up and go away. He says, what? You're not even sitting properly and talking to me. Why should God do it then? So it's very important that we are very centered, very calm when we pray. We have he is giving us full attention. Are we giving him our full attention? Right? And he says, when you pray that way, Master is saying, he answers marvelously. So if the prayer is not answered, one, it's because probably whatever is happening is the right thing. God willed it that way. Two, we didn't pray properly. So there is a proper way to pray, right? And he says, whatever master's topic of conversation, whether some aspect of spiritual path or some perfectly ordinary task that he wanted done, if one listened sensitively enough, one always felt a subtle power emanating from him. Again, listened. Hearing is one thing, listening is going beyond the words. What is he really trying to say? Right? It's very subtle. Not only in the matter when he's talking about master, but even when we are conversing with people always come with a facade, right? They're saying something. So it's very important, rather than hearing what they're saying, to go beyond words and try to really listen. Where are they coming from? What is making them say that? What could be the thing? I mean, that is where it will start revealing itself. And of course, when master is saying, we need to listen, right? Go really deep there. Sometimes he says, um, disciples are so fascinated by the guru's gestures, words, facial expression, they neglect to commune with his magnetizing influence within themselves. That's why when there was this one of the monks who would keep clicking pictures of master so that he can paste them on his wall so that he can feel master's presence all around him. Master allowed him for a time. And finally, one day he said, why are you taking, pictures of this shell? What is this? This is nothing. He said, if you really want to know me in your meditation. And today, Master is not there in body, right? So where do we find his answers? How do we listen? In our meditation. He's answering, he's talking, and he's promised, if you think me near, I'll be near. He's answering everything that we are asking. Are we listening? Are we there? So that's very important. And his master is saying that, before taking a physical body, I see the personality I am to assume. He has that option. And feel, because we don't have the option. We create the body based on all that karma and that what prarabdha karma we are bringing in this life. So body is created according to what is the right vehicle that will allow us to experience that karma. For him, there's no karma to go through. So he just, he must be going through a catalog and saying that, oh, this personality, okay, let me take this. And says, I feel slightly uncomfortable with it because he has to take a personality which is limiting. The body limits his, infinite consciousness. It is like having to don a heavy overcoat on a hot day. I soon get used to it, but inwardly, I never forget that this personality is not my true self. This personality is not our true self, too. We are not this. This is something we need to remember at all times. We keep forgetting it, right? Good to keep bringing us back to this, what Master has said. We are not this. Thou art that, right? And that is why when we do Hong Saw, I am he, I am he. It's constant affirmation. This is something that we can do anytime, anywhere. You're sitting in an airport, between meetings, you have time. Do a few rounds of Hong Saw. It not only calms the mind, but a constant reminder. This is not I, right? And Again, we just spoke about where how Master said, I know every thought you think. And it's not something he just said to Swamiji. He said it to each one of his disciples, each one of us who are on this path with him. Okay, so the last page, just we will finish now after this. I think Swamiji is talking about how his mother had come, his cousin had come, and he had asked for a special prayer. Master took care of that. God answers everything that we ask for, right? So it's very important to be careful what we ask for. Again, Swamiji wanted a special prayer for his mother. Master gave him that. So sweet. And later on, he says that, she did ask him to teach her meditation. Swamiji kept trying to, help his family members if they can come on the path. Like Master is trying for the whole world. Everyone is his family. And similarly, Swamiji tried, but we can't force. Like, sometimes a lot of people say that, I want my husband to start meditating or my children. We can't force. We can guide them. We can, encourage them. That's about it. Everybody has their own karma, their own path. We have to respect that. If they belong here, they're not going to go anywhere. They will come, right? So we need to have patience on that. Master has had patience for eons. We keep coming and we keep going. So we took some time coming in this lifetime itself. We took quite some time. He has had patience. So, we should learn from that also. Okay. And when Swamiji is talking about, Germany, and Master is saying that they have been hurt because they just gone through, this is towards the end of Master's life, right? So, and Germany has just come out of the World War II. He says they have been hurt. That's why all those wars and troubles, Kriya is what they need, not bombs. This world needs Kriya, not bombs. We are in ascending Dwapar Yoga. Already we see so many, parts of this world. They're in war constantly. The last so many years, they're at war. The world needs the healing touch of Kriya. And each one of us are the warriors. And we need to, do our part. The more and more of us are doing our Kriya, that is more important, not just becoming a disciple of the Guru, but actually practicing Kriya dedicatedly, sincerely. That is how the world will change. When Jesus Christ and Babaji got together and decided that the solution for the upliftment of this planet is Kriya Yoga, through this teaching in this ascending Dwapar Yoga, each one are those small lights, beacon of light. We have to do our part to be able to spread that light around the world. Each one has to do their part, right? So, and Swamiji is talking about when Master said, "I will send you sometime there," and he went on to establish so many centers around the world, right? And Assisi as a community living there. Germany also has, as he has promised. And when Swamiji asked, "Is this a new religion?" He says it's a new expression. It's a new expression in the ascending Dwapar Yoga. What is needed? The religion is only one. It's Sanatan Dharma, the eternal truth. And it is the same. It is Sanatan Dharma is what will work on this planet or in any planet. Wherever there is life, if one has to find God, this is the only way. And that's the only religion. Everything are just expressions of it. And but yet people are fighting, and my religion is better than yours. It's not, yours is this thing. And that's where the dogmatism and the fight is all about. We need to go beyond religion. What is our religion? It's self-realization. That's the real religion. There's no point fighting over. That's why Swami Vivekananda, I think it was, who said that it's good to be born in a religion, but it's a curse to die in one. We have to transcend that, right? So truth is one. Sanatan Dharma is, as it is known in India, the eternal religion. The great religions of the world are branches all on that one tree. One ocean has become all its waves, Master has said. We should look to the ocean, not to the little waves protruding on its bosom. All of us are waves. And the best part is when Swamiji once was looking very lovingly at Master and thinking something about Master. Master looked up and then said, just a bulge on the ocean. So when we think, oh, he is such a evolved soul, he is a master. So we think that he would be such a mighty wave. He is not. The mighty waves, the mightier the waves, they crash that hard, right? So the people who are very egoistic, they are the big waves. These masters, the avatars, they're just a bulge, hardly any movement. And that is where we need to be heading, just a bulge on this ocean. So thank you for joining. With that, we come to the end of this chapter. Next one we will pick up in next Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nandiji. Very inspiring.
Thank you.